rising and setting of the sun. And it feels really invalidating to hear you continually evaluating my experience or the experience of other men of color in terms of whether it's founded or not. The foundation might not be visible to you.
The only
But that doesn't mean there
relationship that you and I have is what we have in these encounters. We didn't know each other before then. And I do not like you grouping me with all those with whom you have had experience. That's disturbing because perhaps I'm a little different being from up here. Removed from the cities where you live. I feel for you people.
That answered my question.
I do, and I don't know how to really portray that, except to say that I feel the hurt that you're experiencing. And I understand the distrust you have of white men. And it's interesting to me to see that distrust also exists between people of all colors.
It's not the same, though. Because what we do to each other pushes us down and lifts you up. And what you do to us, or what white folks do to us, pushes us down and pushes you up. It's not the same. And my fear is that if we talked about it, that you would say it's the same.
I'm going to do something that we haven't done today at all. Roberto, would you trade places with Gordon?
Yes. That was fast. I was ready for that.
What a person of color, Latino, does with a black man, or any of that, doesn't seem any bit the same to me. And I don't even term it racism.
What is the difference?
A lot. They have little or no power. I'm not big on politics and understanding that whole thing, but it's to me it's a system that we consciously and unconsciously use to keep people of color down.
I understand the problem that people of color have with the white race. And when we're talking here about a man of one color offending or giving difficulties to a man of another color, I look at that as I am a color, they are a color, each one is a color. It's the same man to man. Why is it different when it's one color to another than white to a color?
Because you're
Because I
on
got
top.
the power.
But we're on top.
I got the privilege.
Yeah, I hear you tell me all the time for many hours now that white is on top, and I believe you. And I believe that you have that feeling. I have never had that concept that white is on top, that I am on top.
Look at the CEOs of the companies that run this world.
I agree with that.
They're all white men.
I know that.
So do you think they're going to think about me or Hugh?
Or me,
No, wait a minute. Me or Hugh or David when they make a decision?
no, they're cutthroat. They think nothing of
They-
people, really.
But their decisions will most hurt people who look like us, not people who look like you. When we fight each other, when we don't take up for each other, that hurts us a lot more than it hurts you. And I never realized that until I sat here and just sat back and listened to what Victor was saying and then your response to it. But now it scares the shit out of me to even continue this conversation in this vein because, you know, I'm going to multiply you by, let's be nice and say the 20 million, the 50 million who will see this film and think, why should we change? These rats can't get along with each other.
Talk about it.
I'm getting seriously depressed sitting here. Yeah, I was thinking we were making progress, and I just don't feel like we're making much progress anymore.
How's that feel?
Feels like shit. Yeah, I'm ready to go outside and run my head through a wall.
What do you need from us? From me or from the other men here?
Just to know that we're all still unified, that we're all still working toward the same thing. But, Roberto, you were going to say something. Go ahead,
I was just going to ask David, you seem to be unaware of the statistics and the news stories that come through the general media would tell you that a black man and a white man laid off from a corporation, that the white man's going to be rehired before the black man.
I'm aware of reports like that, yes.
You are. What happens when you hear them? Do you dismiss them, or do you think they're incorrect, or?
If I were in a position to hire, I'd hire the best man available.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would do, and it wouldn't matter to me what color he is. Among the whites, of my peers at any rate, my colleagues, my acquaintances, we are becoming more and more alarmed at the tendency or the trends to seek out and hire ethnic groups over the white, and that is disturbing to us in some ways.
It should be.
And it is. I have 5 daughters, and they apply to different schools. The minority races are many times given added points that give them a boost above the total points of the white race. So, you know, it's not just that it's all against you. There is much against us also.
I am disturbed that anybody is not getting into college, including white women, including white men. I'm disturbed that white men are out of jobs. However, what I get back most is pointing the finger at the people of color and the women for taking the jobs, and not at the corporate heads that are sending the factories to Mexico, to Indonesia, et cetera, to make more money.
And I want to just kind of just play a devil's advocate here, and that is, what if I had said to you, well, that's just a few folks, and that's not been my experience. I think your kids should just try a little harder. I think your girls should just, get those 3 or 4 more points. I mean, it's just kind of isolated. Everybody gets a chance in America to get an education. How would you feel if I say that to you, given some of the disturbance you were feeling?
That would be minimizing my feelings.
Does it make it feel like it's real anymore?
You hear me, but you don't want to put much importance on it, yeah.
Yeah. And then what you might end up doing is trying to defend that it actually does exist, huh?
I might do that, you bet.
You bet, yeah. Just like the men in this room have been doing with you today.
Sure.
One story after another, trying to tell you it's real. You might even call in some of your friends to prove that it happened, maybe even show some documents. That's what I'm talking about, that's been happening. I have allowed myself to feel in my soul, in my heart, what other men are experiencing, and that has caused me to take down the walls and barriers that my mind has placed before me regarding men of color. And I have found that they are good men and that I can love them. This will probably be difficult for me, but so you understand, I was raised by a father who was very much opinionated and racist, I would say. Oh, my father would always tell jokes about the colored people that would put them down, or would demonstrate to me that they were a inferior group of people. The way he would refer to them, calling them niggers, implanted in me that they were an undesirable people. And he demanded much of his children, to the point where if we didn't obey, we were physically abused by his boot or by a big mean strap. I learned to anticipate what he wanted so that I could do it without ever incurring his abuse. And in doing so, I learned to protect myself from outside harm or any emotions that would cause me anguish or disturb me. And I carried all of this into a pattern of working to avoid dealing with reality, I guess I would say. And all my life, that's where I've been. I work hard, I work long hours, and I keep myself content in my work, and I'm away from the pain and the strife of the real world. And I know when you tell me your experiences, I tend to minimize them so that I don't have to deal with them. But it's not that I don't want to, and it's not that I don't feel your anguish and pain as people of color. And I'm deeply hurt that you would consider my race as the oppressor, because certainly I have never thought myself that way. And that disturbs me to know that you consider me and my color that way. Please accept whatever I can do or say to you to allay to you the feeling that some of us white men really are not aware that we are such a problem to you. And when we say to you, well, just can't you be like us, we don't really understand the differences between you and us.
I'm really sorry that what has happened to you as a child being abused happened to you. That should never, you didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve any of that. And I appreciate you sharing with me how you survived that and how that survival is with you today, and how hearing us and hearing my story, how your survival, how that affects how you hear me and what you hear and what you do with it. That's really important for me to know how you've survived. And as a white man, to know how you dealt with things, to know how you deal with things when they come your way. That's what Victor was asking, I think, in asking, what does it mean to be white? What is it like to be white? And I appreciate you for exploring that and for getting in touch with what it means to be white. And I appreciate your survival. I'm glad you made it.
I just want to say that I appreciate very much your candor and your openness to hear us and try to understand yourself a little more deeply. I just also hope that you will keep in mind that there is no quick fix. You don't change and become a non-racist overnight. You, I think, have just barely tapped into what racism is all about. Just kind of touched the surface of it. I think there's a lot ahead of you. You're developing a new consciousness. You're just starting to see how we as people of color feel. You're getting to just find out a little bit of our reality. And it's going to be a long process to really, really fully understand it.
Stretch out your arms and take hold of the cloth that covers you with both hands. The cure for the pain is in the pain. Good and bad are mixed. If you do not have both, you don't belong with us.
I really worked to keep my expectations out coming up here. And one I couldn't keep out was fear. Because I represent the oppressor. I am the oppressor. But I really see my responsibility and the Euro-American responsibility to get together with our brothers and talk. Come clean on what we've done and what we participated in, what our ancestors have participated in. Put a stop to it. And one of the things that I really appreciate from all of you is tolerance. Because we haven't given you much. And it really felt good that I wasn't treated by you the way we have treated you. I thank you.
As I look around the room, I have a lot of beautiful memories of each one of you. And particularly what sticks out at this moment for me is Utak and I being belly to belly last night and talking. We sort of had a little world just within the two of us.
I saw the genetic link that we had between each other that was just so amazing. And as I was looking into him, you were talking about seeing me, but I was seeing you. I was seeing a version of myself.
And I could see myself inside him. There was a younger me standing in front of me.
I know when I got here Friday, I found myself when people would arrive, I was sizing them up. You know, I was already trying to decide who was my friend, who was my enemy. I found out that you can really express your opinions with people who are different than you without it leading to any kind of violence.
Over this weekend, it was really important for me to see people express their anger against racism because it's something that is very hard for me to do. I was raised, acculturated to not express that kind of anger when I'm mistreated and to take it silently. And I have always wanted to express it because when I keep it inside, I feel that it's killing me, as it has, I believe, killed my father.
Hearing something and being the nice Japanese man and just sort of bowing my head or not wanting to create any waves or not wanting to disturb people or not wanting to offend people. And you know, as I get older, I'm no longer willing to do that anymore. It's just not acceptable.
You know, a lot of these guys I may never see again, but they got a special place inside here, everybody. And if they ever need an ally, they got one. If somebody makes a remark about a Latino, Roberto's face will be there, Hugh's face will be there, and I won't be able to put up with it.
If I were facing a white audience and they were asking me what I wanted from them, I would say justice. Because I cannot love you until you give me justice first.
I think I will see change in individuals. I saw that here with the white men, that there was change for them. I don't think I'm going to see much change on a societal level or an institutional level in my lifetime, and that makes me very sad to think that. What I can hold on to are the individuals that I know are changing. And I know David will go away and he will educate his daughters. I know he'll do that, and the people around him. And that's what I have to hold on to.
So I really am appreciative that I was here. It will have an impact on me throughout the remainder of my life. And I will be your ally and do all I can to stop racism wherever I encounter it.
And he'll fight and he'll struggle and he'll intervene on my behalf. And I think that it'll wear off, that his ability to struggle against racism will wear off unless he has other white men with him, unless he has other white people with him saying, keep going. If David or people like David are going to depend on people of color to keep him going against racism, it won't change. Racism won't change.
I think we have a beautiful world that is in great danger. I know we have a beautiful world, and I know that it's in great danger. And I can't think of anything I'd rather do with my life than to see this great project of human life and of life in general on this planet persist and go on. And I'd like to leave a healthy and beautiful world for my son and any generations that come after him.
Well, if I could talk to my fathers, I'd say, be brave, be proud, and do what you believe is right, and study. Always study. Never stop studying.
I think one of the first thoughts for me was that I think I really wanted something for my father to see, because he thought that white people wouldn't listen or come and see a film and then get really angry if they saw a film on racism. Besides that, I think he also has indoctrinated me for years that people of color and whites can't get along. There's no way that's going to happen on this earth. It's going to keep going on and on and on. David, I like it perfectly when you said, you know, that about you liked the anger. I mean, it was needed and it was honest and it was appropriate. Those were the words you used. But that we do need to get that anger out, because underneath all that anger is all that hurt that has never been allowed to come out for us. And then on the other end is, I think, that what we all saw, what David and Gordon also saw, was that at the end of it was a possibility to get along, if it could just be heard and acknowledged. I remember it on Saturday evening, I just broke down and I cried on Hugh's shoulder, because I told him that I think that I could rest now after this film, that I could say I left something for my son. And I know he's going to go out into the world to see what I had to see. I wanted to know him, to know that I was with him in some way. But I wanted the world to be different for him. I wanted to know him to know that he wasn't crazy. And then I shared with you, David, that I wanted my child to meet your children someday on an equal basis. And I want that. I will remember every one of you for the rest of my life. I mean, some of you I've known, but never quite in this way. And for the rest of your lives, you too have this film for your children and your partners. And Victor, you did your people proud. Each of you did that. Your fathers, your grandfathers, grandmothers. You did it for them. And for that, from the deepest part of my heart, I want to thank each of you.
May the work that I've done speak for me. May the work that I've done speak for me. And if I fall short of my goal, someone else come take a hold. May the work that I've done speak for me. The truth I've told. May the truth that I've told speak for me. May the work that I've done speak for me. And if I fall short of my goal, someone else come take a hold. May the work that I've done speak for me. The truth I've told. May the truth that I've told speak for me. May the truth that I've told speak for me. And if I fall short of my goal, someone else come take a hold. May the truth that I've told speak for me. And the love that I've shared. May the love that I've shared speak for me.
You think someone is going to destroy you. If you don't have the upper hand, you are afraid of the differences of people. You must destroy them. Can't you see? It's fear that's driving you insane, eating you alive and causing you much pain. You've got to walk right through your fear. 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 You think it's right to control the land that other people own. We can live equally in harmony if we respect each other's lives. You are afraid of dying, you don't know how to live. You are so needy and afraid, you've got to learn to give. You've got to walk right through your fear. You gotta walk right through your fear. You've got to walk right through your fear. You gotta walk right through your fear. You run around causing everybody pain. Now everyone is going insane. Stop the madness, save your soul. Stop the arrogance, give up control. You've got to walk right through your fear. You've got to walk right through your fear. You've got to walk right through your fear. You've got to walk